Welcome to the Davies County Lions Club Fairgrounds as Pro Stock tractor owned by Philip Parrish. El Nino begins to pull. It's an international tractor.
Philip Parrish shocked the pulling world and set it on its ear. He won his first ever ATPA Grand American event earlier this year, but tonight, too high of a gear, Ted, runs out of power.
273 feet. The idea is to pull 300. Let's go to Brett Kepner.
Everybody expected this track to be one of the hardest hooks of the year. How is it?
It's tough. It's really biting, and that's just about all I had, so I went ahead and accepted the pull.
Did take it.
Yeah.
Now, that's rare. That must mean that you don't think you can possibly do any better.
I didn't think I could. No, I didn't.
Now, that, for you to accept the pull, that also means that you think that might be good enough to hold.
Yeah, I don't know. There's tough tractors here. It's a tough circuit, you know. It's just hard to say.
We should explain that the first puller has the right to either accept or reject the pull. He accepted the pull. The mark to beat, 273 feet. Let's see if Scott Snyder can do that in the Road Farmer.
It looks like he's going to do it. Yes, he does. Runs out of power, but he is now the new leader, a big green John Deere.
Welcome one and all to our ESPN Speed World in the driver's seat coverage. We're just off of the Ohio River as you see the towboat there pushing a barge. This is the Lucas Oil Ohio Valley Tractor Nationals coming to you from the Davies County Fairgrounds in Philpott, Kentucky, a part of the Jasper Engines and Transmissions Pulling Series. Now, you've already seen a couple of our pullers from the Pro Stock category, and with more of what we can expect to see, let's go to our expert analyst, Tom McConnell.
We're here in Philpott, Kentucky, the birthplace of the Pro Stock tractor. In fact, it was about 25 years ago that the Pro Stock class had its first ever major event right here in Philpott. Now, behind me is a field of green John Deeres, but let me assure you, they're not the only color here. We've got the red ones in town to do battle. The Foolish Pleasure of Gary Brinkmeyer's here, as is the Bite and Binder. And don't ever count out Bill Miller with the Cruisin' Mule. He won this event here 2 years ago. We're going to see if he can do it again just a little bit later on tonight on ESPN2.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Speaking of green, here comes the green streak. This is Steve Boyd from Washington, Indiana, a tough puller. He has won these events in the past. Look at those wheels high in the air. That's just the way you want to do it. He kisses the dirt very gently, drops it down at 285 feet. Oh, it's a sport of inches as the Sandhill Binder backs up the hook.
Look at that blade coming out of that exhaust, and then it goes thick black smoke. This tractor is owned by Tim Overmeyer. Mark Sody doing the driving tonight. And remember, they're only running one turbocharger. The Pro Stocks are different from the Supers in that. One turbocharger, about 2,000 horsepower, 6-cylinder diesel motors. They are awesome.
This ESPN2 in the driver's seat coverage of the Lucas Oil Ohio Valley Nationals is brought to you by Jasper Engines and Transmissions, the nation's leader in remanufactured engines and transmissions, and Lucas Oil Products, #1 in the trucking industry. We'll be back with more. Here back in Philpott, Kentucky, the Davies County Fair, the climbing wall. The kids love it. Let's check in with Brett Kepner, who has a special award.
Now, many of you may not be able to identify that front end, but to a tractor aficionado, it's as easy as looking at a 57 Chevy Bel Air and screaming out the name. The original 966 Internationals are some of the best-known tractors in all of farm implements, and for that matter, in all of pulling. You're looking at one of the most beautiful ever built, and therefore is this event's Lucas Oil Best Appearing Tractor winner. But Gary Brinkmeyer has campaigned this vehicle in the Pro Stock category now for long enough to know that in a sport that, well, depends on brand identity, you'd better be prepared to make the international fans happy out there, because every time you pull out on the track, every international fan out there is expecting you to do something to the John Deeres.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's not too many red ones out there competing right now, and we try our best to keep things going and represent the red color.
Now, the tractor itself is beautiful, but most importantly, it's competitive, and it seems for quite a few seasons now in the Pro Stock class that the John Deeres may have a technological advantage in some way.
Yeah, they have had. They've been ahead of us. It's taken till this year, really, till we're catching up much.
Now, what has been the biggest change to make this tractor kick with them?
Well, we've had to change our cubic inch and try to catch up that way. I think that's where they've had most of their advantages, cubic inch-wise.
How big is this one now?
Well, we're not quite big enough yet, but...
That's the ultimate tractor driver's way of telling us he's not about to tell us how big the engine is in this International, but we brought it here to show you how good it looks. We'll let the cubic inches speak for themselves out on the dirt.
And remember the cubic inch limit on a Pro Stock tractor out of an inline 6-cylinder motor, Ted, 680.
Well, let's see if the foolish pleasure of Gary Brinkmeyer can do it right now. Remember, this class has been dominated by John Deere, but hey, he may go right on out the back door with it. He's going to have a full 300 feet. Now, that's the way to set the mark to beat. Brett Kepner has got to be down there and find out his reaction.
You had to expect a hard-hooking track, but if you did, then you didn't expect to see 300 feet either.
No, I didn't quite think I'd make it. I really didn't.
Did. Now you put the pressure on everybody. Good job.
We hope so. Thank you very much.
And here comes another one of those red tractors. This is the Red Gambler, appropriately named, of Tim Kane from New Palestine, Indiana.
Tim Kane won a major Pro Stock event sponsored by Lucas Oil a few years back in Russell Springs, Kentucky. Still one of the red ones that's trying to run with the green ones, but he chokes out at the end of the track.
Ah, but so close, 292 feet now. Here comes one of those green tractors, a good one, too. This is the green streak number 2 of Greg Boyd and the Boyd family. Let's see if he can go. Remember, you've got to go all the way out the back door, 300 feet. Hey, I can tell you, he's not going to get it done now. Shut down rather suddenly, Tom.
Well, you can hear it, you can see it. It's starting to rain here in Philpott. With more on what's going to happen out on the track, here's Brett Kepner.
Well, gentlemen, pulling is one of the few motorsports where, hey, if it rains, no big deal, at least for a while. But the question remains, when you're pulling up on the starting line and you start seeing it rain this hard, is it helping you or hurting you?
I'd say it's hurting. It's making it slick. You can't get a hold of anything, but I don't believe we're going to get it finished, I doubt.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if the ground dries up or changes if it does stop raining.
Right. Just have to see what happens. Mother Nature take its toll.
Yep, Mother Nature's running this one, that's for sure. And I should point out that if it does stop, it may actually get tackier up there and hold more horsepower. We could have a whole new pole.
Well, we couldn't either. Remember, 292.83 feet is second best right now. Here comes another red tractor, ladies and gentlemen. The Cruisin' Mule of Bill Miller. Oh, he just put a rod right through the pan. Did you see the oil coming out?
Oh, yeah, a rod or a crank, Ted. I'm going to go for a rod. No, I may go for a crank. Ted, it's bad. It's real bad.
Let's take another look at it with a Lucas Oil instant replay right here. You can see the tires started spinning, and all of a sudden it was over before it ever really got started. Serious engine damage. A lot of carnage going on there.
I don't think I've ever seen one come apart quite that quick.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. This second time this year we had some problems, and that came too fast, way too fast. It just didn't even get on top of things.
I know it's a lot of money pouring onto the ground like that. It's a tough way to go.
Yeah, it's one of them things, though, that can happen to anybody, and I guess this year is my turn to have a problem.
Well, we'll take a break. When we come back, more Green Machines. It's not over yet, folks. Stay with us. Fair time in Kentucky. Welcome back to the Davies County Fair put on by the Lions Club in Philpott, Kentucky. We're at the Jasper Engine and Transmission Pulling Series. This is Jim Elpers and his Diamond Deere out of Evansville, Indiana. It's a green machine, and it has to make a full pull. Can it do it, Tom McConnell?
Not sure about that. Looks like he's running out of power. Gary Brinkmeyer, the International, still in the full pull position.
Here's Brett Kepner with our Jasper Best Engineered Award.
The Pro Stock tractor category may be the most technologically advanced in the entire ATPA Jasper series. Now, the Pro Stockers are unique in the sense that they can only use one turbocharger and must maintain factory body panels and a vast majority of factory parts under the hood. However, you can utilize, well, replacement parts. Case in point are the extremely exotic and violently expensive billet cylinder heads that are used in this particular class. Steve Wishmeyer is barely getting by a John Deere, though. Doesn't use one. It's still utilizing a regular old cast cylinder head that a lot of people think is actually going to hurt you down the line, but it doesn't seem to be slowing you down.
No, it's been doing fairly decent. We can't complain overall. I believe the billet head thing is the one coming into the market in the near future. I have a feeling there's a lot of power there in the billet head.
Now, head flow is one thing, but there are so many other areas of these engines that are important. Certainly the fuel system takes a lot of time to figure out what works for each individual tractor. Did you build your own?
Well, no. Columbus Diesel is one that does our fuel system. They do chargers or turbochargers and fuel systems both, and I mean we've always dealt with them on that type of situation.
Now, when you match a fuel system to this tractor, is it done before you go out and pull, or is every pull a new experiment?
No, it's all matched up. They put it on the stand at their place and, you know, check everything over, flow our fuel system, make sure everything's working correctly.
Well, a lot of people think the John Deeres have a decided advantage when it comes to that technology in the Pro Stock class. But trust me, it all boils down to each individual's ability to tune and match that horsepower to the track conditions. That's why Steve Wishmeyer's exceptionally successful JD is this week's best engineered vehicle.
All right, thank you, Brett Kepner. Let's see if he is barely getting by. That's the name of it. He hails from Seymour, Indiana. Steve Wishmeyer has another shot here to get a green tractor into a pull-off.
He is on to a very good run, but the weather may have helped him some. The track is a little bit slick. He's scooting that pan and way out there. Steve Wishmeyer on one of the best runs I've ever seen that tractor lay down.
Boy, something has changed. This track has come in. Steve Typhon will make a pull now with his John Deere. We've got a red and a green. Let's see if it'll be two greens in the pull-off.
It's looking like it's going to be it. Oh, easily out. Track has definitely changed for the betterment of the pullers out there.
And as the River Rat hooks up, let's go to Brett Kepner.
Oh, we got nightlife, and by the way, it stopped raining, and I was going to ask you if the raining stopped would have had anything to do with anything, but that's kind of pointless now. What a job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It felt good right out of the hole, so.
Gotta leg it.
Got to come back and try it again.
Well, we'll see what happens. This guy's done a lot of full pulling. I'll tell you, the Masterson family, absolutely first-class people. The River Rat may well get into that pull-off. He's off to a good one.
Very good run indeed. He's won this event many times. No surprise, a full pull. Kevin Masterson, as several other Pro Stock competitors watched that run. Let's go to Brett.
You've been on this course before. You know that this thing is a hard-hooking track, but I swear it's better now than it was before it rained.
Yeah, I sure think so. There's more weight in the sled, you know, it's hooking fantastic. You know, that was a fun ride.
Fun ride indeed when it's a full pull. Carl Smith, Greenville, Indiana, the night moves. Now we only have one red tractor in that pull-off. Carl Smith would like to make it two of them.
Carl Smith has done it before. In fact, he's the 1998 Jasper Engines ATPA points champion. Look how close! 6 feet short of a full pull, Ted. Get ready for the power! All the stars of the Jasper Pulling Series are coming to the Macon County Fairgrounds September 23rd and 24th for the Jasper World Finals. Order your tickets now, 877-740-3696. September 23rd and 24th, the Jasper World Finals at the Macon County Fairgrounds in Macon, Missouri. Pull is a part of the Jasper Pulling Series and presented by Lucas Oil.
You know, the Sarvers put on a party every year. It's an annual Pro Stock party, and most of the Pro Stock competitors turned out. They live near Philpott, Kentucky. And here comes Mike Sarver, the aforementioned partier. Wonder if he's sobered up from all that experience yet.
No doubt about it. Sarver's had a really rough weekend. He blew up a motor in Monroe, Michigan. Just got it back together this afternoon. And yes, he's got to feel happy with that, Ted. Finally makes a full pull. A really long weekend for the Sarver team.
Another green machine in the pull-off. Another one ready. Let's go to Brett.
Well, I don't think it was raining when you left the starting line, but it was at the finish line, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't raining, but, you know, 300-foot weather can change around here, you know. Let's go a little ways, the weather will change. But, yeah, it was close to getting it out. Track's definitely getting better. Rain's helping it.
Now the gangrene of Lance Little will do some pulling. He'd like to get into that pull-off, too. He's from the fine state of Illinois. Wheels high in the air. Has to drive with the brakes, which is not always desirable. Oh, he's tiptoeing right along that line, and he goes out of bounds. Unfortunately, he will be disqualified. He touched the out-of-bounds line before he got to the 300-foot mark. You want to see it again? Okay. Courtesy of Lucas Oil, we'll replay it for you. Right there he goes, right across the line. He touches it before he got to that little orange cone. But we have more pullers in the class, more green machines like the Nameless right here.
And Island Phelps Jr., real unique setup. Look at the grill on that tractor. At the very top of the grill, just over the yellow John Deere line, you'll see the sheet metal is open. At the end of the run, when he shuts it down, the sheet metal shuts back down. That's actually his air intake, Ted.
Now you can see he had to correct and use his brakes to do that. That's why he could not pull it out the back door. Here comes another one of the Masterson family. This is the Tinker toy. Let's see if he can pull it out the back door.
Remember, his son Kevin's already out there. John is on a very fast run, but it looks like the track has changed, chokes them out. The track, I think, is getting a little bit better, taking a lot of power at the end of the track, and it's taking their power away, and they're gone.
Here comes the Case International, Trent Boyd.
Trent Boyd, one of the Boyd family members that, well, he's the oddball of the family. He drives the red Case IH, trying to get another red International in the pull-off, and it's not going to be. Gary Brinkmeyer still holding his own in the pull-off of all these green John Deeres.
Only one red tractor in the pull-off right now from Belleville, Ohio. The Iron Dragon is another green machine, a John Deere. Let's see if he can join the other green machine as he goes straight down the track, right down the middle, hanging those front tires in the air. Does he have enough? No. 283 feet. He fell way short.
Larry Shope was third here last year, but he's going to come up way short this year. Larry McCart's doing the driving on the one bad apple. Usually Jeff Rapp is the man, but not tonight. Very good run, very straight, but I bet you he's going to run out of power. Man, Ted, this track is getting really aggressive.
They are really biting in and bogging those tractors down, pulls him down to only 280 feet. Here comes the red mill right now, Bill Miller. Let's see if he can get it done. Remember, only one red tractor in the International in that pull-off. The rest of them are all John Deere. Now, he's on a good run. Really rolling right there. Oh, and look at that. Boy, it just pulls them down at about the 280-foot mark. In this case, 284.
Ted, he had to get on that right rear brake. When he got on it, he locked that tire up. It took all the power he had out of that tractor, lost his momentum. He came up way short as Mickey Shorter with the buck eater. Makes a very good pass, but he too. They're just stuffing them, Ted. They're just running out of power on this track.
268 feet. He was way short. We'll pause to tell you this ESPN Speed World coverage being brought to you by Jacobs Electronics. For ignition improvements, call 888-IGNITION. And by Balco of Cincinnati, whose products are available at local truck stops everywhere. We'll be back. And when we do, we'll have the pull-off. Stay tuned, please.
Hey.
The Lucas Oil Ohio Valley Nationals coming to you from Philpott, Kentucky. We're at the Davies County Fair, put on by the Lions Club, part of the ATPA Jasper Engine to Transmission Pulling Series. Well, they backed the sled into place. They did not change the gear or the weights on the sled as we begin our pull-off with Gary Brinkmeyer. Why have they left the sled alone?
Well, it's a floating finish line. In the pull-off, they let you pull it as far as you can, and that's it. They don't change the sled. You just keep pulling. If you can get past 300 foot, well, good to you. There's going to be no more pull-offs in. Wow, this track has changed from the first go-round. Gary Brinkmeyer sets the mark to beat. We check it out with the Lucas Oil replay. A good run, but this definitely tells me that this track has changed because his first time, Ted, he went about 310 feet. Now he's at 287 and change.
An interesting situation since we had just learned prior to the poll that they were not going to add weight to the sled or make the weight box move faster. It's set up exactly the way it was in the first round, so it's not as far, and you were lined up a little bit to the left of center. Why?
Well, the starting line down there has changed a little bit. I thought it was just a better spot to start there. We didn't get too bad a start. It's a little more tore up on this end than it was the first time, though, so.
Is the moisture a factor at all, do you think, or is it just chewed up?
A number of tractors over the track makes a difference, and the moisture's coming up a little more, making it harder to pull. So.
Well, if that's the case, this may be the leader for the rest of the pull-off.
Yeah, we hope it holds. It'll take a good one to get by it, but I think there's some good tractors back there.
True, but there's a lot of international fans here, too.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and all of those good tractors are green, my friend. Not good news for you. Barely getting by Steve Wishmeyer. The number to beat, 287.36, and that .36 could be significant.
Oh, very much so. Wishmeyer on a very good run, but just runs out of power right there at the end. 286.56, less than a foot, Ed.
Wow, that's close. As our next puller backs into position, gets ready to hook, let's find out what he has to say about his John Deere pull.
You're an experienced puller, so I know that you're prepared to accept the fact that it missed by less than a foot.
Well, I'm very happy with that. I believe it was a fairly decent pass, and there's 3 good tractors right there behind me at though tonight.
One thing's for sure, you certainly proved you can drive in any weather condition tonight.
Yeah, it's for sure. It was raining pretty good a while ago when I hooked.
Another green tractor, the Nightlife. Let's see if the Nightlife can pull all the way past 287 feet.
Brinkmeyer is the only international in the pull-off. With Typhon, we have Masterson and Sarver yet to go. 2 more John Deeres. And Typhon will not take over the lead. The internationals are starting to look awfully good, Ted.
Ah, but here comes the current Jasper Engine Transmission points leader, Kevin Masterson.
A lot of air out there. Did you change the weights on the front?
Yeah, actually, I put a little more on the front. It still got awful high down there, and that probably hurt me. And motor was a little warm from the first pull, and just didn't have enough power in that gear.
Well, if nothing else, for you to make the pull-off at this event proves that you can run with the best under any circumstances.
We're just glad to be here.
The number to beat, once again, 287.36 feet, held by the lone international in the pull-off.
Well, this is a guy you better keep an eye on. He has won this event more times than he can count. Kevin Masterson, not going to do it tonight. Gary Brinkmeyer just sitting there. You know Brinkmeyer's got to feel good now.
Now, I don't even think you thought you'd stay out in front of Masterson.
No, I really did think Kevin was going to take her through there. He just didn't get quite the hole shot down there that he needed, I think, tonight.
And when was your last win on the ATPA circuit?
Well, it's been a couple weeks.
One lone puller remaining. The green extreme of Mike Sarver. John Deere's last chance to upset the big red machine. Has the track changed?
I don't think it's going to be as much a track. This is a brand new motor. The motor's still hot from the first go-round. He's not going to do it. The internationals upset the John Deere, Ted.
That is the biggest crowd response I've heard this year in this class.
Well, thank you. Tell you, I'd really like to thank the Fair Association here. You know, they had an awful good track here and a good facility and really nice crowd. And it's been a pleasure being down here with us.
I can imagine 1 international for John Deere. That's a big upset.
That makes you feel pretty good, I tell you.
Like I said, the crowd was with you. Whether it was the underdog factor or not, they were with you.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. I hope it stays that way for a while.
Well, here's the way they finished. Our congratulations to Gary Brinkmeyer. Barely won it by less than a foot over Steve Wishmeyer. Now, who are we going to give our Jacobs Electronics hot pull to? Who else? It's got to be the only international, and a perfect pull right down the center of the track. He showed him exactly how it was done. Congratulations.
We check out the Jasper Engines points. Even though the John Deeres did not win tonight, they are the top 5 in the Jasper ATPA points.
And that'll be a wrap. From Philpott, Kentucky, I'm Ted Jones. For Tom McConnell and Brett Kepner, so long, everyone. Thanks for watching. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.